Is following political news your civic duty to stay informed, or are you just keeping up with the latest season of a reality show? If you're caught in the dopamine loop of national scandals rather than considering how you can make a real world impact, you've stopped doing politics and started doing a passive hobby. Let me tell you how I think I've fallen into this trap and what I think we can do about it. I often find myself watching videos from people who are passionate about things I probably won't ever engage in. For instance, Jacob Geller's video essays about horror games are phenomenal explorations of philosophy and art. Since I'm a big weenie who isn't actually going to play those types of games, I enjoy watching his videos to glean what he gets out of the experience, and I get to vicariously enjoy the art of those games that way. I've also been following Jared Bauer, a humorist, philosopher, and cultural critic, since his days over at Wisecrack. In a recent video on his personal channel, he talked about South Park. I've never really watched South Park, but it is Jared's favorite show, and he has brought it up many times over the years, and I enjoy seeing what people have to say about things they're passionate about, even if it's not for me. South Park, as a sardonic show about popular culture, has had interesting critiques worth exploring that I'm happy to watch Jared explore instead of watching the show myself. However, I was intrigued by his pulling back of support for the most recent season, and what really resonated with me was his critique of political hobbyism. It also got me thinking, am I a political hobbyist? Jared argues that
when you relent that politics has become pop culture, you enter the realm of political hobbyism, and political hobbyism is not politics. It doesn't build power, it doesn't change institutions, and it doesn't strengthen democracy.
Apparently, unlike South Park's usual brand of satire, this season felt like it was only funny if you're addicted to the news cycle, and specifically catered to a newsbrain audience. While the episodes have been consistently making fun of the most recent cadre of goons in power, they aren't necessarily speaking truth to power. Instead, they are making caricatures out of people who wouldn't even matter in the public consciousness, unless we made them matter, unless politics and culture have become popular entertainment. So many knee-jerk reactions to online discourse consist of, stop bringing politics into this, or it's not that deep, bro, or I stopped watching when XYZ thing got political. What this video made me realize is it is probably because people see politics as this hobbyist venture and therefore don't see the ways politics affects them in practical, real-life ways. Jared cites Politics is for Power by Eitan Hirsch, saying political hobbyism is a psychological addiction cosplaying as moral responsibility, marked by hyper-emotional engagement and obsession with national politics that merely satisfies short-term emotional needs. If we're going to take the stance that everything is political so that we can infuse political meaning into culture so that people pay attention and care more about politics, at what point do we just risk alienating people and burning them out so that they don't participate in ways that we all need to make real change in the world? And for those who do care about politics on the regular, how much action are we actually taking? Are we just becoming additional pundits? Are we just adding to the chatter, the culture war, and the entertainment machine that politics has become instead of doing the work of politics? Jared stopped watching South Park because of this slide into political hobbyism. Unfortunately, I think I suffer from this myself. While scrolling on TikTok or watching YouTube, I follow certain people because I do like to stay informed, and I value the curation of the news that trusted providers give. But this political commentary shows up in my feed no differently from and right alongside more frivolous content, memes, influencers, comedians, music, and all other forms of entertainment. When you look at the YouTube homepage and realize the thumbnail for a political breakdown looks hardly any different than the thumbnail for a gaming video, a comedy sketch, podcast clip, or video essay, you have to realize that politics has become both culture and entertainment. Are we just consuming politics like any other genre of content? Jared's video reminds us that.
Another element of political hobbyism is that it's distinct from political action. Politics is about doing, not feeling good. That's just culture.
The call to action here is literal. Do something, don't just consume. If politics is action, as Jared says, then take actions to affect your life. Generally, you have more control over things that happen locally than at a national scale, so don't fall into despair by looking only at what is happening globally or nationally. Look at ways you can affect your direct community. Check on what's within your sphere of influence to change for the better, and make a plan, or join a group with the same goals if doing it alone feels too daunting. We need to be wary of dipping into political hobbyism and treating politics as just another content stream. We need to make sure we're using political news consumption to inspire action instead of overwhelm and apathy. And by watching people talk about things they're passionate about, even if it isn't your cup of tea, you can broaden your understanding of the world and, like me, bring awareness to something about yourself you may not have considered before.